Great. So I'd say we'll start. Everyone will join a little later. We'll still know where we are, and yeah. So first of all, thank you all for your time. Thank you for being here. I see lots of attendees who took the time to be here and to hear from us what we'd like to say to you, what we'd like to present to you. And so yeah, we're here to introduce the new automated migration path for Jira Workflow Toolbox to the Jira Cloud. So lots of companies right now, or had to decide, or still have to decide what to do and where to go with the Atlassian products. Is it either the cloud or the data center? And for those who want to or need to migrate their instance to cloud, we, as I said, introduced the Jira Workflow Toolbox automated migration path in order to migrate entire workflows and all the rules easily, automatically. I'd like to start just with a quick introduction of myself and my colleagues. So my name is Michele. I've been at Decades now for approximately 10 months here in marketing. And today I'm here with my great colleague, Dr. Ute Masermann. And yeah, Ute, would you like to say a few words as well?
Yep, I'd like to. So hello, everyone. I'm Ute from the product management of Decades Apps. And I'm not only product manager, but call myself a senior generalist, for example, software development. And that's why I'm here, because I know JWTC, especially right from the beginning. I was responsible for the implementation of this automated migration path. And yeah, that's why I'm here. So Michele, let's start.
Thank you very much. Yeah, so as you've all heard, we've got a very big expert in JWT and Jira Cloud as well with Ute here. And yeah, so we'd like to show you the process of how you or anyone else will have to can migrate the Jira Workflow Toolbox to the cloud. And to show you the entire process, Ute was so kind to prepare in advance a little video, which I'm going to play now. So we'll be able to see the entire process of a migration, because depending on the size of the projects and all that, it might take a few more minutes or more than the time we have like right now. So that's why we prepared the video we can go through. And if you have got any questions regarding the automated migration path, which might come to you during this presentation, we do have time at the end of this webinar for a quick Q&A. So just keep them in mind or write them in the chat, and we'll be able to tackle them at the end. And Ute will be able to get through these questions. So yeah, let's start with the video and show you the automated migration path, which we've provided you with.
Hello and welcome to our session where we want to migrate Jira Workflow Toolbox to Jira Cloud. I'm Ute from the product management of Decades Apps, and I will lead you through this presentation. What does it mean? Since we want to migrate JWT on-prem to JWT Cloud, we have prepared a little example for you, which we want to introduce in the first step. Then we actually run a migration with the help of the Jira Cloud Migration Assistant. After that, the really fancy part begins, where we want to deal with the results of this migration using the JWT Migration log. And now this is our example. We have 3 JWT functions. The first one is the fields required condition, where we have defined 4 fields which are required or must be empty in order to transition this issue. The next one is the update or copy field values, where we want to update certain subtasks and set 4 fields here or clear them by using parser expressions or copy the field value. It will be run as the project lead. The last function is concerned with adding watchers. We simply want to add the users and the field development managers as watchers to this issue. And now we are already done here, and we can switch to our Jira instance to the Migration Assistant home. You can reach this easily by choosing System and then checking this option here. Now let's start. Let's move through each step here, and first the app assessment. You see here all the apps installed on this instance, and we have to decide if they are needed in cloud or not. Since we are only dealing with JWT here, we only check this one as needed in cloud. Even if we have the XApps library, which is needed for JWT on-prem here, we don't have to check this, it's only this one. Clicking here, we are led to our app documentation where we have integrated a Cloud Migration Hub, where we show all the features which are available and also the feature gap. And in addition, we have the automated migration part described here, which we are currently following. So let's return here to the next one. So here you see the link to the automated part in the documentation. And stage one simply means that since we are presenting a relatively new feature here, not many migrations have been run so far. That's why it's still in stage one and not in stage two so far. That's it on that side. Then we have to prepare our apps. Okay, this is just the info that only one app is needed in cloud, and we continue. And we have to agree to this policy here that we are now allowed to read the data from JWT definitions. Yes, we want to migrate, that's why we are confirming here. Done here. We don't want to go into details of the JCMA, that's why we don't tell more about assessing and preparing the users or email domains. We just want to create a migration now. So first we have to connect to cloud. So we want to have we need to have a unique name for this migration here. And since I have run several ones in advance before this presentation, I just call it now part 2. The migration stage here is just for statistical reasons. This has nothing to do how we handle your data. So we are just choosing the testing stage here. And I already have chosen my destination, my cloud destination. This is this one. I have to be admin on this side, all good. So I want to choose migration options now. I want to select the projects and all the other stuff which is needed in cloud. I don't want to migrate advanced roadmaps plans here and only one project, which is the JWT migration. And I can add it here. Users and group, I don't want, I only want to migrate those ones which are here, and I want to migrate them separately and add them to the migration. I don't want to migrate customers. And for sure, I want to select the app which is needed in cloud and want to migrate it. That's it. So now the JCMA does some checks. And looks good. So this one is the stage 1, which we have just seen for JWT as a migration readiness, and this is only this low migration success rate. So we can ignore this warning here. Now we review the migration. All good. Here you see the app which is migrated, and for sure the project and the groups and users. That's all. Now we can run this migration. Let's go. You see here the list of all migrations which have been run before. This is the test I did before. And here you see the stage. This is just listed for information reasons here. Let's switch back to the details and see what's happening. It's just exporting the users and groups and then start with the project. This will take a little time, so we can switch back to our presentation and can show you some interesting things about what is migrated and what not. So what does JCMA migrate? It's migrating all entities belonging to the migrated project, like issues, versions, custom fields, and stuff. All users and groups selected for this migration, and all apps with their data which were selected for this migration, depending on their migration path. But only those custom fields which are associated to at least one screen of the project will be migrated, and only those resolution, link types, and other entities which are used by at least one issue of the migrated projects are migrated. This is what JCMA migrates. What are we doing by migrating JWT? For sure, we are migrating all workflow rules which are available in JWT Cloud or have a workaround which are described in our Cloud Migration Hub. That means parser expressions, field codes, mapping of the entities like custom field IDs because they will change during the migration. But due to limitations of Jira Cloud, not all functionality known from JWT on-prem can be implemented in Jira Cloud. And still, we also have a feature gap between JWT on-prem and JWT Cloud. That's why not all functions and options are migrated. So now let's have a look if our migration already has been done. So it's running now, the app migration is running. We are sending status every 90 seconds. The JCMA shows the progress here, and we will wait till it's finished. And here we are. You see, 100% was done. Still, we show an incomplete because you have to do something afterwards. Not all functionality was transferred 100%, so we say, okay, it's incomplete. Now we can switch here and see the information that a total of 3 workflow rules was handled, and we can now switch to our JWT migration log. So what does it mean? You see here an overview of the migration, which has been the last one. So the youngest is shown here, but you also can switch to previous ones by selecting them here. First, we show an overview of what has been migrated, in addition to the date and time here. Then we see the table of migrated workflow rules. That means for each workflow and each transition, the workflow rules which were migrated or not are shown here. Imagine you have a couple of projects with tons of workflows. We make the life easy by selecting them. Here you can select all of them or just certain transitions. You see it here. We can also select the workflow rules here, and then we can narrow the data down. We can also clear the whole stuff. Let's come to the status here. We show a status here. That means by success, all have been done really good. So no issues for you, no things you have to worry about. In contrast to an error where we are sure that the workflow function will fail when being executed. There may be also warnings. That means we have done some manipulations, and maybe it's not like you like to have afterwards, but it's still a warning, so you can execute the workflow function afterwards. The severity here is always the highest one. That means in case of an error, there may be also warnings. Not migratable at the end of the day means we don't have any equivalent functionality on cloud side, so we are not able to represent this post function on cloud side. That also means you won't see it in your workflow then. Let's come to the last column here. It's the resolved. That means if you have lots of workflows and workflow functions, you all have to care about what you already have handled and what not, so you can check this one that I don't want to care about the error here, it's fine for me. And you also can uncheck it for sure. In case of the success, it's already checked. And you can also then have a look at the details here. So for success, we won't go there, but for the error, we are interested in the details, which are then showed in the show more here. And that's really interesting. We really note down each and every detail which we find, which are not 100% the same as on-prem. We note it here. But first, let's have a look at the overview here. We say, okay, this is the rule which is in the context of this workflow in this transition. And sometimes we have different names for the on-prem workflow rule and the cloud workflow rule, like it's here. On JWT Data Center, it's called update or copy field values, and JWT Cloud, it's just update fields by JWT. We also show the workflow rule ID here on cloud side. The details show each and every message we found you the migration of this specific workflow rule. That means we have here 2 errors and 1 warning. So have a look at the error here. So we see the JWT parser function, which we use for setting this field, is not available on cloud. So we have to deal with it on this side. The next one is the priority, which is set on cloud side by using the ID of the priority, whereas on the on-prem side, you can just use the human readable value there. So we also have to deal about it on this side. Then just as an information that we have a different format for the due date on cloud side and on prem side, you just have to check if it's all concerned here or not. And for that, we can directly edit this workflow rule. We don't have to create a draft of a workflow and move around through the transitions and search this rule by its ID. We can just edit this workflow rule and can care about the errors. But first, let's have a look at this nice parser expression here. Maybe you remember we had the update or copy field values, which looked like this. We selected statuses to do and subtasks only, the issue types subtasks. So we don't offer this opportunity on cloud side, but we are able to transfer this filter to a parser expression. That means we are filtering by issue types. This is the subtask, and also filter by status. This is the to-dos. So this is just for information reasons. Now let's have a look at the different fields here. Effect versions is set by the field in the current issue. And you also see here that we have to use the ID. When copying from field values, this is done automatically by the migration, just adding the ID here. Now let's come to the error in the due date parser expression. We don't have an add month on cloud for the JWT parser. But fortunately, we are able to replace this by a Jira expression. That means we have the current date. This is new date in Jira expression, and we just add 2 months here, and then here we are. We can check it if it's running correctly. Yes, it's then June. Okay, we can update this and we are done. As to the priority, the parser expression is syntactically correct, but we know we have to set an ID as a value. We can switch here to the overview to see, okay, what was it? Yeah, we have to set the ID. So you can always switch between the 2 tabs here, and you see all our changes which we have done are still here. So what we have to do now is to think about, okay, what's the ID of the priority high and medium? And I already know it because highest is 1, high is 2, and medium is 3. So we are done here as well, and all good. The clear field value is the same as on-prem side. And as you see here, this custom field ID, have a look at it, is different to the one. Oh, it's not shown here. So, but I can tell you it's different to the one which is on-prem side, and this is also automatically done with our automated migration. The run as user here is the project lead. It's the same as on-prem side. So I would say we are done with repairing all the warnings and errors on this workflow rule. So if I say update config here and have this toggle button on, then automatically I mark it as resolved on the main screen here. So this is also, I for sure I can uncheck it, but that's it. So now we are done because we can't do anything with a not migratable thing here. Okay, it's add or remove watchers. Maybe an automation rule is of help for you because you can set watchers there. But you have to keep in mind that all the actions, even if it's not really executed but only checked, this automation rule is counted for your contingent of executions and automations. By the way, we have the add and remove watchers on the roadmap for JWT Cloud, so we keep you posted. Yeah, thanks for your attention. And for sure, we are open for questions from your side. Always feel free to contact our support via our help desk. And I hope you will succeed with your migration. Thank you.
All right. So now we've seen this powerful new feature and a very, very easy way to migrate to Jira, your Jira Workflow Toolbox on-prem workflow rules to Jira Cloud. And as I've said before, we still have quite a few minutes of left during this webinar. If you've got any further questions, feel free, as I said, just raise your hand or write them in the chat. And since Ute, our expert, is here, she can just answer them immediately if you've got any questions. Let's wait again for a few minutes. Maybe someone still has to think about a few issues. There's one. So Evan is asking, are you able to share your roadmap? Ute, what do we say to that?
Maybe. If it's concerned to closing the feature gap, we are only looking forward for the next couple of months, let's say. So we don't have a complete roadmap about which functions we will implement till we have closed the roadmap. As I mentioned, the add and remove watchers is one topic which will be maybe the next one, and a couple of other post functions, but we haven't decided yet for the next ones. Yes.
Yes, Samuel. We can both answer that. So every attendee or one who RSVP'd for the webinar is going to have access to the recording to rewatch it. And if any other questions might come up rewatching it, just feel free to contact us. But we still got a few minutes, and we have another one. Are you having any plans for adding more functionalities in cloud that are now available in DC that can help with the migration? Ute?
Well, so what does it mean that can help with the migration? That's now difficult to interpret for me. Can you add some note there, please?
David, maybe you'll be able to just write a few more sentences to clarify the question. That will be great. Yes.
Or you're just thinking of more rules like condition validators and stuff. Yeah, yes, we plan. So this is the roadmap, which is some kind of fuzzy now because we don't have a dedicated step-by-step roadmap till we close the feature gap. But yes, we know from you, from our customers, where are your pain points when doing migrations? Because actually we have lots of tickets in our service desk where people ask for certain functionality, and for sure we will bring our priorities according to those questions, that we select the next functions to be implemented according what you are needing most on on-prem side.
All right, great. I hope this answers your question, David. And Chase, another one. Is there a way of determining which projects in our on-prem instance are utilizing JWT Fun?
Yes, for sure. So maybe you can use our nice app admin toolbox where you can you can do some reports and find out where and which functions you are using. You can install a trial version and just do the report. But we also, there are lots of other functionality there, so you can please buy it. No, but it's really, really helpful to get this overview, and we really recommend to use it.
That's true. It's definitely a very powerful add-on and tool, which we might help you with as well. So yeah. I think Chase, you raised your hand as well. Do you want to say something else, or was it just your question? Like right now? Do you have another question, Chase? Okay, so just give me a second and I'll open your mic. So now you can unmute yourself and give it a go.
Oh, thank you. I was asking that question because we've done a few migrations of projects, and when I look at the migration log, it'll say migration of the app JWT is completed, a total of 0 workflow rules was handled. Please visit, and then it gives me a URL to the migration log. And there's nothing there. So I guess I'm just curious, like I was asking before, you said there's another app we could use to run a report to see which projects are using JWT functionalities. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, so I would recommend to use admin toolbox so that you are sure if there is noted 0 workflow rules have been migrated, that this project doesn't use JWT, because this is what I would say. If you migrate projects and check the JWT needed in cloud and there are no workflow rules done by JWT, you have the 0 workflow rules, and also the migration log is empty for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I was curious because we were thinking the migration had gone smoothly, but now I'm realizing there was nothing to migrate. So it may be different on other projects, and I just wanted to, like you're saying, I can use the admin toolbox to try to figure out what those projects are before we migrate them. So.
Okay, so Frank has already posted a link into the chat. If you want to have a look at the marketplace for the admin toolbox, just feel free. But Chase, I can send you as well some follow-up informations regarding the admin toolbox, the workflow report, and all the other features that come with it as well.
Okay. Yeah, if you could send that to me, that would be very helpful.
Yes,
I appreciate it.
No problem. All
okay.
Right.
That was my question, so thank you.
Thank you for your question. All right. Any other questions left? I mean, a few seconds left to go. Nadine,
no,
do you understand right?
The question is about if every project has to be migrated on its own. No, you can check all the projects you like to migrate. You can check all of your projects in the instance to migrate at once. That's a feature of the JCMA that you can select certain ones and transfer other later, but you also can migrate all of them at once, or 2 or 3 or whatever.
Right. So not just one, just as many as you like. Great. Again, is there any questions left? I mean, we are at the end. Another one? Is it visible which ones we were already migrated?
Oh, wow, good question. Yes, you can have a look at the cloud side and compare. No, the JCMA does not offer that. And so we are steered, our migration is steered by the Jira Cloud Migration Assistant, and we only can use these features. We can't do anything there. So if you have migrated a project once, it's still on the list if you start a new JCMA migration. and you can check it as well. But if it's already there, the migration assistant is complaining and said, you can't do that. So you're on the safe side, even if you don't keep track of it. It's mentioned then you can't migrate it twice to the same instance.
Okay, so you're still safe, and once you migrate it via the JCMA, you can't do it again. So you're pretty much safe to not migrate the project
and to override your painfully changed workflow functions.
True. Yeah. So yeah, again, close to the end, but any questions, feel free to just leave them in the chat or raise the hand, and we'll try to answer them as good as we can here. All right. I think we're basically through. And yes, as I said at the beginning, thank you very much for your time, for being here, for listening to us, for raising your questions, like really good questions. And if you've got any questions regarding JWT, the migration, or any other products, for example, just feel free to contact us anytime, and we'll give you follow-up information. Maybe if you want like a proper demo, we can do that as well. And if you've got any problems with our products, feel free to just open up a ticket, and we will help you as soon as we can. Right. Then again, thank you very much for your time. As I said before, you'll get the recording afterwards. Just give me a few, maybe in the day tomorrow, you'll have it during the day. And yes, have a great day. Have a great evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.